Hey everybody, Jeremy here with another E3 2014 preview, this time for Hyrule Warriors. I got some hands-on time with Hyrule Warriors, and this is a game that when it was announced, it just blew our minds completely. Because it seemed so absurd, so impractical, so how in the world did this partnership even happen? It's Dynasty Warriors meets The Legend of Zelda, with a lot more Dynasty Warriors sprinkled in. So this is something that I really wanted to play because I'm a big fan of Dynasty Warriors, even though I personally don't think the game has changed all that much since like the early 2000s. I used to play that when I was still in high school, even before high school, and I graduated in 2004, so that gives you an idea how old I am. But it's pretty much been some of the same things over and over again with Dynasty Warriors, but much like junk food, you just keep going back to it, even though you know there's better things out there that you could be spending your time with. So when you throw in The Legend of Zelda, it just brings you right back in. Just when you thought, okay, I'm done Dynasty Warriors, the same old thing, you throw Link in there, you throw the Kingdom of Hyrule in there, and now you want more. So let me tell you what this game was all about. When I first started playing the demo, there were two characters that we could choose from. Link and Princess Zelda. I chose Link because a lot of people around me seem to be choosing Princess Zelda. And Link had one of two weapons that you can choose from. The regular sword, and then he also had a fire rod. I didn't want to take a chance with the fire rod because I didn't know if it was going to be a different type of combat with that rod, and I didn't want to embarrass myself around all those people. So I stuck with the sword. I stuck with what I knew. And going into it, as soon as you hit that battlefield, you immediately, if you play Dynasty Warriors, you are immediately feeling like you are at home. So many elements are there. The map in the upper right-hand corner of the screen that shows the red dots as being your enemy and the blue dots as being your allies. And of course, the red dots always vastly outnumber the blue. So you're running around and you're finding the position on the map that has like a blinking white circle around it. And that tells you you need to go over there and you need to take out whoever is over there. If it's like a gate captain, sub-general, whatever that may be, that indicates you need to go there. And that's also something that returns from the Dynasty Warriors. I don't know what they call it these days, the gate captains and sub-generals, but the same basic concept is in Hyrule Warriors, when you need to get this particular door open, and the only way to do it is to fight the person who is in charge of that particular keep so you can open up that door. And you can press the L button, the left shoulder button on the Wii U gamepad to lock on to that very important enemy that's there at that time, so you don't have to really look for him that much. If there is a unique enemy that you need to beat to progress that is in your vicinity, pressing L1, not holding it, just pressing it, will automatically lock on to them, and you can just focus purely on them. Now, around that enemy in particular is just a whole lot of fodder, a whole bunch of smaller, lower level enemies that you would just take out without really even trying. And the same combo system is also in place in this game. On the Wii U gamepad, it uses the X and Y buttons to control the attacks. And just like Dynasty Warriors, you'll mix up those buttons to perform different combos. So you'll have X, X, Y, X, Y, X, 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 Y, X, 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 Y. And as you mix those up, Link will do different things, or Princess Zelda would do different things. And it looks really nice. For such a small number of button presses, Link can really do some really cool moves. You know, he'll go up in the air and he'll come back down with so much force and he'll knock so many enemies out, and you still have that KO meter on the screen from Dynasty Warriors. You still have the banter that goes on between people on the field, and they even use the same font when it shows you, hey, 50 KO, that looks like someone took like a paintbrush and just kind of wrote on there. It's all the same. It looks the same. Your special attacks from Dynasty Warriors, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right, whether it was Musu or Musou, I'm not too sure. But basically, once you get that meter all the way up, and then on the PlayStation you would press circle, and then you would do whatever your character's special move was. That's also in Hyrule Warriors. There's also this other meter that you fill up, and then once you activate that, I think it might have been with the left trigger or the right trigger. But it temporarily gives Link or Zelda, whoever you're playing with, an extra boost, extra attack power. It just gives them a little bit more of an edge so that you can take out enemies a lot faster. And the boss in this game that I fought, he was like a fire-ish type giant monster. And when I fought him, I don't think I was doing it right. I think there was a way of weakening him in order to expose a weak spot, because I do remember seeing something in the tips about weak spots, but I kind of just ignored it. And I think it took me a little bit longer to beat that last boss, but I did beat him, and I did not die. And I think the time that I spent in the demo was probably shorter than others, because once you get playing, you know that it's like Dynasty Warriors. You know where to go. So like, yeah, I'm just going to carve out a path here. I'm going to take out this person, then this door opens, and I'm going to run over here, and things like that. And when you defeat the enemies, you get the rupees. And I asked the gentleman who was over that presentation and just helping everyone play. I asked him what were the rupees going to be used for. And although they couldn't give very specific information, they probably only knew a handful of details themselves. But he tells me that in between the stages, you'll be able to use those rupees for things. I don't know if they're for consumable items. I don't know if it's for upgrading weapons, choosing different weapons. I'm not too sure. But the rupees that you do collect do have some sort of purpose to them. Overall, I enjoyed it because it's Dynasty Warriors, but it's the Legend of Zelda Dynasty Warriors. And this is something if you like Dynasty Warriors. So if you're mostly into Zelda and then you come into Hyrule Warriors, it's not going to be anything like you would expect from Zelda. This is really more for the Dynasty Warriors fans who are also fans of Zelda to a degree. Maybe passively, maybe they're just familiar with The Legend of Zelda, just familiar with Link. Doesn't mean that they played all of the games. Just you know those characters well enough that you think it would be cool to fight as them in this sort of mind-numbing, very simple button-mashing fighting action game. And that's what I got from it. So yeah, Hyrule Warriors, I enjoyed it. It's not anything that you are not expecting. It's not anything that I did not expect. Everything seemed pretty standard fare as far as taking the Dynasty Warriors formula and just applying it to Zelda. Now, another thing, before I forget, I know the Dynasty Warriors games usually have problems when it comes to having so many enemies on the screen at once, and eventually you'll get some slowdown. I do not recall seeing slowdown in this demo. If the frame rate dipped a little bit, it was small enough so that it didn't really stand out to me. But from what I've seen, it seemed like everything was solid. I know that's not indicative of the full game, but it did stick out in my mind as being something that was very positive, and I hope that the rest of the game is like that too, smooth all the way around. I can't wait to see what other characters you can play as and the other abilities you get to unlock, and hopefully some more weapons, and find out what you can do with those rupees as well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that, and I hope you found this video informative, and I will be back soon with another E3 2014 preview from something that I played on the show floor. So until then, I'm Jeremy, and I'll talk to you later.